Hello everybody, good to be back on Vancouver Island. As you can see, I'm here with, what's your name here? Brian Barnham. Again, can't seem to get rid of him. We've come out to Qualicum Falls, which is, it's only about 15-20 minute drive from where I live. I've been here lots of times, done a few vlogs. I'll leave a link up to one here. But I really wanted to see what the water levels were like because we've had so much rain. It's funny because I was complaining about the weather in Scotland, but in the meantime in British Columbia, they've had way more rain than I've ever experienced on the island. And there has been a little bit of flooding on the island, but not as much as in the Vancouver area. But as you can see, the waterfalls are just raging right now, which is a great thing because it's creating a lot of mist in the background. Now I have, the shot I'm looking at right now is the two trees up on the cliff there. Now I have photographed this before, but I really love the mist behind them, so it gives them lots of good separation. The one thing that I don't like about it is this frost fence in the background. So what I'll probably end up doing is just cloning it out somehow. As far as the waterfall goes, I probably won't photograph the waterfall. It's just too much water coming over it, although it is pretty spectacular. So hopefully, I mean, it was actually cloudy this morning. We had some snow this morning, and I think the sun is going to come out. So I'm really hoping that perhaps we'll get some sun hitting the fog there, might get some light beams or something like that. Anyway, I'm just waiting for Brian. He's kind of in my way. Gosh, it's dark in here. So the clouds have dissipated. So we just have blue sky now. And it's really affected the light. The light is, or the ambient light is very blue because we're getting reflections or the reflected light coming from the sky. I was hoping to go down to the waterfall on the other side and perhaps get some light beams coming through the forest. But the light or the sun is so low this time of year that it has a hard time penetrating the forest. So I kind of gave up on that idea, and we've just come for a little walk along the river here. And I noticed this western red cedar casting a little bit of ambient light because it's on the edge of the forest, and of course it's facing downstream. So there's ambient light hitting the side of the tree there. And I love those sweeping mossy branches coming in, all kind of leading back into the trunk. So I took some wider shots with a bit of light coming through the background. And now what I'm doing is concentrating just more or less on the trunk with all these branches kind of pointing in and out of that trunk. Now the light is quite cool, so I'll probably have to warm it up quite a bit. Yeah, it's quite nice. I really quite like it. The forest is very dense looking across like this, so you're not going to get hardly any light come through the forest. But I did notice that, and I love the textures in the bark, so that's kind of what I'm going for here. As far as lenses and such, it's moving around a little bit, so I've had to go to ISO 800 at 1/3 of a second at f11, and I'm using my my 1 to 200 millimeter lens, 5.6. So I do definitely need a little bit of depth to get as much in focus as I can. Well, good morning, my YouTube peeps. You guys have probably seen this tree before. If you watch my videos in the past, I have been to this area several times. I'm up at Notch Hill with my good friend Brian Barnham, who's just down there doing some vlogs. Every time I come here, I really want to photograph this tree, but I've never really found a great angle. But I think today might be the day, so I'll show you exactly what I have set up. Right then. Now, the biggest problem about this is that I've had to really put my camera up quite high because there's a few branches in the background that they kind of get cut off at certain heights, and I can kind of just eliminate that problem by getting up a little bit high. I mean, it's really minor, but as I've said in past videos, it's the little things. If you have lots of them in the frame, that you pay attention to all the little details, then those are the things that become important, for me anyway, in the final image. So what I'm talking about right now is right here. You'll see that there's this little branch in the background, and if I'm any lower, then this branch kind of cuts it off. And it seems really silly, but to my eye, the way it is now, those two trees kind of interact with one another just because of that little branch. I could be totally off on this one, just full of crap, but to my eye, that's important to me anyway. I don't really want to include much of the sky. We just have pretty much blue skies this morning. So I want to try and eliminate that. And of course, by getting up high, or as high as I can, I'm looking down a little bit more. So I'm able to do that. Plus, that's why I've done it in 16:9. Actually, if I had my choice, I'd rather do it as either a square or perhaps 4x5 or 4x3. And I will do that because perhaps the sky isn't that distracting. But looking through the camera, it looks kind of distracting, but I've been wrong before. Anyway, it's a really neat looking tree, really gnarly, old, and there's some wonderful details on there. And of course, with the GFX 100, 100 megapixels, it's really going to bring out those finer details, especially when you print an image from a camera like this. absolutely love this tree, and I've photographed it several times in the past. I'll leave a link to one of the videos up here. Now, Brian and I, we were here this morning. This is Notch Hill in Nanoose, and it's only about 10-15 minute drive from where I live. So the light was getting a little bit harsh, so we went back to my place, had a bite to eat, and now we've come back. It's late afternoon, and I've come to this tree trying to find some new angles on it. I am having a bit of a difficult time because I have tried to photograph it from all different angles in the past. It's a really cool tree. The problem that I have with it is not so much the tree itself, but the background, and trying to find what to do with the background because it is quite busy. But having said that, what I've decided to do is just actually concentrate on that branch that's leaning out to the right here. And I've also kind of integrated some of the trees in the background, and I'm hoping that their shapes will kind of go with the branch. I'll show you my composition and kind of give you my thought process. All right, so as you can see, here's the branch here, really gnarly looking branch. And what I've tried to do is separate it from this tree here in the background, this oak that kind of leans over to the right as well. And then I don't know if you can see this, but there's another oak tree in here and it has a twirly branch, and I've tried to fit that into that notch of the tree there. So those are the things that I like to look for and try to kind of get around so that there's a bit of a design element there. Obviously the rest of the tree is cut off, so you know, I don't know if that's going to ruin the shot or not, but I figure that if I have some elements in there that kind of mimic that branch or kind of go with it, in the case of the swirling branch there, then that really helps the composition. All right, well, I think that's the end of today. How did it go for you?
It was good, I enjoyed it. You know, it was a nice new location that I've never been to. Light was tricky.
Get some okay shots?
I think so. I think, like you said, I think fog, mist.
Yeah, but we're not going to get fog and mist in here.
But
I mean, every time, I mean, everybody wishes for that, but it never happens. So you've got to kind of, unless you live in, I don't know.
Well, I've seen the videos from here that you've done when it was with snow, and it looked amazing. It really did.
Well, that's the nice thing of living, you know, just down the road, because it's a local area, so you can rush over here really quickly. But yeah, I think this tree here, I've always wanted to photograph it. It's hard to photograph though, because it's so busy around it, you know. But I think there's some okay shots.
Yeah,
and
it was nice.
You took some close-ups of the...
I've done some, I like the detail of the bark.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's all different colours. There's whites, there's blacks, there's browns, there's all different shades. It's quite... and
hello.
He's in total agreement, so... The rook's massive.
Right, everybody, thank you ever so much for watching this week's video. I hope you enjoyed it. And
give it a thumbs up.
Precisely. And if you enjoy the content,
also give it a thumbs up.
hit the subscribe button. All right. And if you haven't checked Brian's channel out, I'll leave a link at the end of the video.
Much appreciated.
What was that?
Someone chucked a rock on top of it. I just seen this rock flying through the air.
Oh.
You know, on top of the thing.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks.